Hello and welcome to Provisio. Today we'll optimise a client's transition to retirement strategy, get a retirement income projection, and produce a fully detailed statement of advice, all in less than 10 minutes. In our example, the client has some requirements that are non-standard for a TTR strategy, but complex requirements don't have to mean extra work for you. With Provisio, you can optimise any strategy and finish the SoA in minutes. Now we'll show you how.
You probably know how long it can take to issue TTR advice, especially when the client situation is somewhat non-standard. With Provisio, a complex advice strategy doesn't take much more time than a simple one. I control all details that can affect the recommendation, and Provisio does the rest. I have a client with some special requirements for TTR. So first, let's go over what she's asked me for. She wants to start TTR just after her 55th birthday, a few months before financial year end. She already makes salary sacrifice contributions. In a few years, she'll contribute a lump sum. When she's 62, she'd like to work fewer hours, and she wants to know how that will affect her retirement income. From the client's perspective, these are simple requests, but if I were modelling this strategy manually, they'd add up to a lot of extra work. Now, I'll show you how easily I can optimise her TTR plan and finish the SoA in Provisio. Now I'm starting a new TTR strategy from the client's record. The client details here have come from the Provisio client record. If you're using Provisio from within Coin, the client details would come from Coin. In any Provisio strategy, the key details include the client's goal. In this case, it's to match her current net income during TTR years. If she wanted a lower or higher net income, we'd enter it here. The client wants to start TTR just after her birthday. I'll leave the pro rata box unticked to maximise her gain for the part year. It used to take me extra time to do part-year strategies and explain them to clients. But realistically, most clients don't align their financial events with the financial year. With Provisio, I can start on any date with no extra work. It automatically optimises the part year and handles all the salary sacrifice, pension and tax calculations I used to do manually. Now, we'll set up her income and super details and her planned financial events. Her current salary sacrifice is $400 gross per month, so $4,800 per year. She hasn't made after-tax contributions in the last 3 years, so I don't have to fill in the non-concessional fields. With Provisio, you don't have to fill in every field, just the exceptions. My preferences are set to leave $1,000 in accumulation. I would override this if the fund's minimum balance or client's insurance required more to remain in the account. The income index is already set to 4%, and the client agrees this is about right. Now we'll incorporate her lump sum contribution and reduced work hours into the strategy. Provisio's events table lets me specify adjustments for any year of the strategy. This client expects to make a $50,000 contribution in a few years. We'll want to refresh her pension to get the benefit from this lump sum. Also, I'll specify that it won't be funded from her salary that year. Around age 62, she'd prefer to work 3 days a week. So, in the salary column, I'll enter about 60% of her salary and fill it down for subsequent years. I've entered it in present value terms, which means I don't have to manually calculate her indexed 60% salary for future years. Provisio does it for me. Here's the list of financial events we just entered: a $50,000 non-concessional with a pension refresh, and reduced work hours for the last few years. To summarise what we've specified for this strategy, the client will start TTR on April 1st and match her current income. She already salary sacrifices $400 a month. In a few years, she'll make a $50,000 lump sum contribution and we'll refresh her pension. A few years before retirement, she'll work 3 days per week. Now, let's run this strategy and see how much she should gain from it. In seconds, Provisio just modelled every possible way to implement this TTR strategy. with all the circumstances considered. Then it tested every model for benefit to the client and identified the model with the highest benefit, the one you see here. This is the optimised strategy, the one and only way to maximise Adele's super savings whilst matching her net income. This TTR plan should give her over $64,000 more in super at retirement and over $3,000 extra pension income every year, and she won't have to give up $1 of income. The overview chart compares her situation each year with and without a TTR plan. Here we can see her income reduction in later years and her year-on-year super balance. Here's a summary of each year's tax position, including any applicable rebates. The implementation details show the salary sacrifice and pension levels she'll set up with her employer and fund. I can show her the monthly amounts to correspond with her pay periods. Now let's see how she'll retire with this TTR plan. To do this, I'll import her TTR strategy into Adequacy. As I mentioned before, each Provisio strategy lets you specify the client's goal. In this case, the goal is a target retirement income. She'd like about $80,000 per year, including Centrelink. This strategy already contains the events we set up in the TTR strategy. We confirm her partner's details, then discuss their likely assets at retirement, which will affect the couple's Centrelink entitlements. I'll run the strategy, which shows she's on track to get a bit more than $80,000 per year. Then I show her the graphs to illustrate that her super should last her lifetime at her target income. With a few more clicks, I can generate her statement of advice. I select both the TTR strategy and the adequacy projection, enter my fees, and generate a single SoA that covers both. Provisio's SoA gives her a step-by-step guide for implementing TTR. It explains the partial first year and contains detailed tax tables for her reference. You can see I've customised the Provisio template with my own branding and front cover sheet. It's taken me about 6 minutes to produce a complex TTR plan and retirement income SoA. I incorporated several complex requirements and controlled every detail that could affect the outcome. In seconds, Provisio optimised the client's TTR plan, demonstrated her retirement income, and generated an SoA that's ready to go. There are no shortcuts to knowing your client, but there is a better way to crunch the numbers. With Provisio, even the most complex strategies require very little hands-on effort, so you can spend more time with clients and less time with your advice software.
Thank you for your interest in Provisio. We believe that technology should work for you and that your advice software should help you work smarter. For more information on SOAs in minutes and other advice solutions for you and your clients, visit us at provisio.com.au.